Good morning, everybody. I'm Cindy and this is Ideas Times 2. Welcome back to our channel. Today I have a tutorial for a quick last-minute Christmas gift, stocking stuffer, Hanukkah present, teacher gift if your kids are still in school. And thankfully I'm a teacher and we're not still in school. I'm on winter break right now and actually will now have some time to craft. And I don't have a completed exemplar, but I've started a fall version of this project, and you can see it's super simple, trifold. It's nothing different really than what I've shown you before, except I'm using envelopes to make this tall, skinny journal. If you don't have the large business size envelopes, you can use any size envelope for this project. If you have, leftover Christmas card envelopes, perfect. Thank you card envelopes, perfect. Doesn't matter. Whatever you've got, whatever paper scraps you have, whatever your style is, you can modify this project for your personal preference and what supplies you have in the house, which I think is one of the best things about this project. You probably don't have to go to the store to buy anything. So we're going to make this tall, skinny journal. And so what you're going to need are 3 envelopes. They don't have to be new. They can be used because you're going to cover them up. But I have 3 business size envelopes here. You're also going to need your basic things for the journal, some paper. I have mine ready to go and have cut this down to 8 inches wide by 9 inches tall to make a 9x4 journal. And you'll also need some paper. I'm using cardstock. It doesn't have to be cardstock. If you have scrapbooking paper, book pages, newsprint, doesn't matter. Wrapping paper would be fun. Whatever you happen to have around. I'm using this cardstock from Hackney and Company. So it's gorgeous, double-sided, even though we're only using one side today. And this actually I'm reusing because I messed one up and had things upside down, and I was trying to get a video done before I left for North Dakota for a family emergency, and it just didn't work because I just kept messing up. I just wasn't in the right frame of mind. But I'm reusing this. As you can see, I had made kind of a mess before. But this is cut to 9, a little more than 9 inches, 9 1/8 or so high, and about 4 inches wide. And I sewed around my edges already. And if you don't want to sew or you don't have a sewing machine, don't worry about it. It's for aesthetics only. I happen to like to have everything sewn. I like more of a vintage feel to my journals, and I feel like sewing adds that little extra touch. So you'll need 6 pieces of 9 1/8 by 4 inch wide paper, cardstock, whatever you're choosing to use. My closure is also going to be cardstock, and this one was not double-sided, so I put coffee stain paper on the inside. I sewed it, and for my closure, that is 8.5 inches by 4 inches wide, and I put a rivet up here in the corner, and we'll talk more about that later. Also, you might want to have some paper scraps for pockets, and these are literally just offcuts, so I'm not sure which of them I'm going to use, so we'll talk about measurements later. So also you might need another piece of paper for the inside of your envelopes. You're not going to see a lot of the envelope. Actually, you won't see any from the middle envelope, but on the two outside envelopes, you're going to see the inside. You can see it just that doesn't work for me. So I'm going to cover this with coffee stained paper, and that will also then be reinforcement for my hinges. And that's the first thing I'm going to do. So I'm going to put the middle envelope off to the side, and I had already cut this down to 9-ish inch, 9 size of the inside of your envelope, which is on mine is 9 inches. And it doesn't have to be too wide. It needs to be wide enough to cover, you know, to go over here, to cover, you know, past the fold of the envelope. So I'm going to cut this just to about 3 inches, and I'm going to cut 2. A little bit left over, do something with later. And I'm going to fold about well, it's kind of crooked, but it really doesn't matter too much. But you can see I have a smaller piece on the right side and the larger. I'm going to slip this in the envelope and glue it down so it'll be like this. I'll line up the folds. So this will be a reinforcement on my spine, and which I think is important when we're working with just paper, but at the same time it covers up that blue, and you can see it's going to look a lot better with my paper. You might not need to do this part depending on what paper you use. Maybe the inside of your envelope is just white, but even though I don't mail, you know, rent checks or anything, I still have a tendency to buy safety envelopes. And for glue, I'm using my Fabri-Tac. If you've watched any of my videos before, you know that's my preferred glue. But whatever glue you happen to have is just fine. Actually, I did this backwards. I should have done this last. I wasn't thinking, and I should be. I just did my nails, and I would like to keep them looking decent for at least a couple of days. But learn from my mistakes. To do the section you're going to put inside the envelope first. And once that's in, you know, glue your other side down. I hope everybody's doing well. Looking forward to the holidays. Today is a gloomy, wet day where I am. We are not supposed to get bad weather other than high winds and rain. So no white Christmas here. But that's okay, because I just got back from North Dakota. Spent a couple weeks with my family there, and they have more than enough snow for everybody. They have a lot of snow. All right. That went together really well. And I'm going to, these are, you know, have adhesive on them already. Sorry, there we go. That little plastic strip would not let go of my hand. And the envelope should be fine on the inside, nothing glued down. So since that is already got the adhesive on it, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim these edges. So I'm going to go ahead and glue my first two envelopes together. And I'm not going to glue all the way to that center line. I'm going to leave a little bit of room because that's where I'm going to put the journal, and so I need to leave a little bit of space there. But not too much, maybe 1/8 of an inch. Glue that down, press that really well. Make sure everything folds and my top and bottom are aligned. The envelope here in the middle, I'm going to put the opening for that envelope on the top. So I'm going to go ahead and close this side down. So we've got a good start. And yeah, I don't need to trim those edges because they're going to be covered. Make sure we've got glue all the way. I think that looks good. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Do just enough of a fold, and we'll do this side correctly. I'm going to put the glue down on, actually I want it to go this way. With the opening over on the left side. And just like on the other side, except I have to do it this way because I'm right-handed. Slip that in there, give it a good press, make sure my folds are aligned, and they are perfect. So a little bit of Fabri-Tac. I'm going to go ahead and remove that, press this down, make sure everything folds. And now we're ready to attach the right side to the left side. And that adhesive is actually pretty strong, but still need some glue on there. And I'm going to glue it to the other envelope, just like on the other one, just to make sure that there's room for everything to fold. I'm not going to go right next to that fold, but pretty close. 1/16 of an inch maybe on this side. Just a little bit. Got a little glue seepage there. And then that will fold over. This one will fold over. So simple construction, right? Because that's how we like things, especially last minute gifts. And I'm going to go ahead and put my paper, decide which direction I want everything to go. And I think I want this to be my front cover. This could be my back cover. And these are what I'm working with. The other sides are awfully pretty too, but they've already been glued on, so I can't use those again. And maybe I'll do like this. On my front cover, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to put a book plate on here, and I'm going to do it before I glue everything down. That way my little brads will be on here and then glued down, rather than, you know, going through onto through the envelope. Can't go through the envelope because then you can't put anything in it, right? So I'm going to center, just eyeball this, and hopefully it'll be in the center. My brads. And make sure this is even. And then when I glue it down, this will be my front cover, and I think that'll be super cute. I am going to ink my edges, but I think I'm going to do that when I'm done. So I'm going to glue everything down, and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back after gluing on my cardstock. I put 3 pieces on the back, and the reason I have 2 pieces that are alike next to each other is because when it's closed it'll look like this, and then this will be on the inside, and so there's just a little more variety rather than having, you know, 3, you know, of the same panels next to each other. I wanted something a little bit a little different. I used 2 pieces of 12 by 12 cardstock, 1 piece of coffee stain paper, 3 envelopes for the construction of the journal, and I am just inking over the stark whiteness of the envelopes. You know, you can certainly do this in a different order if you or if you want to paint the envelopes, you know, the edges, so that you have a different color, or if you want to leave it stark white, that's fine too. And I'll show you on the inside what I did, so you can see how I put in my two outside big pockets. So not too bad, a little bit too white in a couple places, but that's all right. Flip this. So I think this is turning out rather well. Okay, so, oops, I missed a spot. It's really obvious when everything else is already inked. All right. So on the inside, what I have over here is kind of a hidden pocket. On this side, I put a little thumb tab in there. And then in the center, there's no pocket. So what I want to do is with my scissors, just take the thinnest possible piece off of there. And the reason I wait to do this until towards the end of the process is because I have accidentally put the paper on upside down. And so I'll have this pocket up here as well. So now before I put sew the signature in, I have some paper scraps. I was thinking of adding some pockets. I could put maybe a couple of here, a couple over on this side. This side, I don't think so. I don't think I want to add any pockets since I've got the thumb tab here. But certainly you could put pockets here as well, or pockets on the flip. That is completely up to you. But I have some different options here. I could do a tall skinny pocket since it's a tall skinny journal. I love this paper, but I don't think I'm going to use that. I think I'll make a card out of that. And those I'll put off to the side. So maybe something like this. I'll put a couple of thumb tabs and do 2 pockets here. And I don't know, not 100% sure. I have a lot of shadows today. I apologize for that. The weather is terrible. There's no sun out today. Not even noon yet. And I'm getting afternoon shadows. So I apologize. Oops, okay. I think since I've already sewn, I'm going to sew these as well. So just hang tight. I'm going to sew my pockets. All right. So I've got a couple of pockets and I'm just going to glue them down. With the handy dandy Fabri-Tac. All right, excuse me, Lizzie. And I put the kind of a tall, skinny tag in this pocket over on the left side. Glue. I'll come back and clean that up after it starts drying a little bit. It was too wet when I tried to erase it. All right, now time to get out the glue eraser. Make sure there's no tackiness or glue globs. I really made a mess on this one. Yeah, made a terrible mess. Oops. Okay, that's a lot better. If you don't have one of these little glue erasers, you need to get one. Perfect stocking stuffers. I got mine on Amazon for a couple of dollars, I think. But they are glue erasers. They're made to get rid of the glue that you accidentally get on your projects. So I think it looks good. It feels good. It's nice and sturdy. And I'm going to next put in my signature, and I'm going to put it over on the left fold here. That's why we left a little extra room on this side. And I'm going to sew it in at the same time I sew my my closure. I'm going to sew the closure down as well. I don't want to fold it, but I need it to be pretty rounded here. And I think in order to hold this down, I might do a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. It might be a little easier, but I think a 3-hole would be fine as well. And find the center of my signature. And hey Lizzie, I have some clips. Clip my paper down. Looks like I broke this one and I forgot to replace it, but yeah. Let's see if I can find another. And since this isn't a very big project, I probably can get away with just 3. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. So as you can see on the closure, it is just cardstock. I put some coffee stained paper on the inside. I sewed the edges. I put a little rivet here, and the measurements once again are 8.5 by 4. And I'm not folding it, but I am folding it, but I am rounding it really well. And the rivet goes in the top right corner. This is where I'm going to attach the twine to wrap around. And I'm just going to eyeball this because, it's how I work. And what I'm going to do is take out a needle and needle in there to hold that together so that it doesn't, my closure doesn't slip. And so I put a hole in the center. I think I'm just going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and about an inch from the top and an inch from the bottom is where I'm putting my holes. And I'm going to use a brown, dark brown thread, waxed thread, maybe, if I can find the end. There it is. And if you aren't that experienced with junk journaling yet, a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, you need approximately 3 lengths of your journal. And I'm going to grab a little bit smaller needle. My fingers are a little grungy. A little glue and a little ink. And apparently my eyes aren't working. I can't get my needle threaded. There we go. Okay. So the pamphlet stitch, 3-hole pamphlet stitch, working from the inside out, and leave a tail, and then through your top hole, and down to the bottom hole, and then in through the middle hole. You need to be careful not for your needle not to go through the thread. Can't see what I'm doing at the moment. There we go. And make sure and tighten everything. And there's my closure. I think that's going to be super cute. You want to make sure you have one thread on each side of this one in the middle, so that when you tie it, it's knotted inside, in between. And then trim your strings to the length you want them. I like mine to leave mine a little longer. Sometimes I put beads on the bottom or something like that. Just don't don't trim too close to that knot in the middle. And so when you fold it, you can fold either this here like that and then have your journal like this, or you can fold it with the journal. You should have room to fold your journal in like this. I think this is turning out really cute. And put my needles away before they wind up on the floor or in the cat's paw. Hey, Lizzie girl. Yeah, out of the way. Good girl. And for the closure, I'm going to just use twine or jute. And I just did not measure that at all, but I want it fairly long. No, Lizzie, you cannot play with the jute. And I'm just going to do a little slip knot here. And then it can wrap around. And I'm not, excuse me, I think I have a large bead charm right handy here even. I don't know if I'll be able to get both pieces of jute through that little hole, but I'm gonna try. Hey Lizzie, you are in my way. You're in the way. Oh, thank you for the hug. I was gone for 2 weeks, and I don't think Lizzie came out of hiding once. I had a cat sitter who came over twice every day to feed her, take care of all her needs, and I don't think she came out of hiding once. And she's been very needy since I came home. Okay. Well, I will worry about this later, I think, because I'm struggling. Partly because I can't see very well. I've got so many shadows in here. It is not time to eat. I don't know if that's what you're thinking, but you can hug me all you want, but I'm not going to get you dinner. It's barely lunchtime. Or not even lunchtime, I don't think. There we go. Excuse me, Lizzie, really, you're in the way. There we go. Excuse me, you need to move. You need to get out of here. Good girl. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. So there we go. There's is the basic finished construction with a jute, and I like to have something heavy on my closures if I just have a tie closure. So like a key or a charm, or you know, I've got these Tim Holtz thought tokens. They work really well too. Sometimes I use one of these and a key together, but I like to have something that has a little bit of weight on there. And then inside we have a place to put a tag, some big stuff in the pockets, a hidden pocket on this side, and the knots are hidden on this side. Our journal here in the middle with just a little bit of all the papers. And 2 pockets here, and then a big pocket here. Now for me, the fun part is what's next, is making the ephemera. I love to make ephemera, and I probably will add a few more little embellishments, maybe some washi tape or some labels or something, but that is our basic construction. What do you think? If you need a last-minute Christmas gift, Hanukkah present, stocking stuffer, this is a fun project, and I bet you have everything in the house to make this. So, thank you for joining me today. If you're not already a subscriber, we would love to have you join us and get notifications when we have new videos. And if you would be so kind to leave a positive message, thumbs up, those things are great. And if you are taking a little bit of a break this week, I hope you have time to spend with your family and friends. Have a Merry Christmas. This evening is day 5 of Hanukkah. So happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, And thank you so much, everybody. We really appreciate all of our subscribers. So thank you for watching. Bye-bye, everybody.